carols with miles of hobby.
Welcome back to Pat and Ken at the Holidays. This is our third segment. Yes, I'm Pat McDonald, the Über critic of Chicago.
Buona Natale, Pat. And translated, that's Merry Christmas. I'm Ken Candela, the movie wag.
Thank you, Godfather. So our next television rendition, and we do this often over the years, we take...
Because there were a lot of holiday specials back in the 60s and 70s.
Right. The variety shows, man. They're great. So this year we decided to do, now this was part of a regular series. It was called the Julie Andrews Hour, and it's her Christmas show. And a cast of men with a lot of bad toupees, Ken.
And a happy new year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Basically, it's a variety show format. Ken, there's a lot of singing in this.
Well, she starts out, she goes out, and they start singing right away.
Me a little Christmas, right this very minute. Candles in the windows, carols in the city.
Moving trees around, everybody's singing. But, you know, I love Julie Andrews' voice. So her voice was the standout of the opening. She had other men that were singing in this. There was Dan Daly.
Dan Daly. I think Dan Daly called in a favor from Jimmy Stewart. Like they made a bet back in 40. If any of their career went off track, they're going to help each other.
They had Sergio Franchi, who I remember as the Sergio.
Joyful and triumphant.
Steve Lawrence.
Steve Lawrence with the biggest rug you'll ever see. I mean, he bought that rug at the discount den. That was some toupee, sir.
Who else was singing with
Okay, so there was Carl Reiner. Why?
Carl Reiner. Who knew he could sing?
I heard the bells on Christmas Day.
Also, Joel Grey, the great Joel Grey. Now, Joel Grey and Carl Reiner are Jewish, but they still participated. Now, in that first sequence with the trees, I felt that Julie Andrews was on cocaine. She's very lively in it. She's just
she's spinning. She does a spin around at one point, and then there's a reverse spin. And I was like, wow.
And then, of course, the great Cass Elliott.
It came upon the midnight clear.
I can say 1969, Cass Elliott is partying with Jim Morrison. 1972, she's singing Christmas carols with Julie Andrews.
She did make the crossover at some point.
Yeah, she did.
She tried to legitimize herself, which she should have never done because there was nothing to change. But
well, they shouldn't have served ham at the meal because, of course, she died of choking on ham.
But that's a misnomer.
I know.
Okay.
So we got through the first sequence.
Right. Jimmy Stewart, though, comes out, too.
Yeah. And when did they make this bet? When they were stumping each other?
Oh, that's right, yes. Jimmy and I have agreed that I will show him an old-fashioned Charles Dickens Christmas in London with the gaslight and the Christmas goose and the tall beaver hats and the long mufflers, you know.
And then I'm going to show Julie an old-fashioned small-town American Christmas.
Don't you think that's a terrific idea?
The stupidest premise for a Christmas.
Get out of my office. They bring that to get out of my office.
The only comedy sketches were with, of course, Rich Little, who seems to be in every Christmas special. I don't know why. We've seen him in several. We've reviewed his HBO, which he pretty much lifted from this Julie Andrews special to
because again he plays Ebenezer Scrooge, but in the persona of Jack Benny.
Christmas?
Yes. People have been going home for Christmas for the past 500 years.
Well, listen, how would I know anything about the past 500 years? I'm only 39.
So who was the ghost of Christmas Future in the sketch with Alice Ghostley?
My dear Mr. Scrooge, I believe in Christmas, and I've had a belly full of you, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Voices.
Oh, you know who that was? I think it was James Mason.
Oh, okay.
You think it was James? I think he was doing James Mason. He talked like this.
Okay, so they had the Alice Ghostley as Cratchit and him doing the voices. And then they come back to the Scrooge sketch with Jimmy Stewart playing Cratchit. What was that?
Was that for me, Mr. Scrooge? Yes, it was, Cratchit. That was your wife phoning to wish me a Merry Christmas.
Well, I sure would appreciate if you'd let me off a bit early.
I know, but I don't want you to make it a habit.
The best Rich Little bit was when Rich Little played Jimmy Stewart's nephew, and
Yes.
they both talked exactly alike.
This is Julie Andrews.
Oh, I'm pleased to meet you, Miss Andrews. I mean that. I'm really pleased.
I think Cass Elliott slipped the staff some acid because the scene where they're singing to the baby Jesus, her and Jimmy Stewart, it's like so weird.
Stars in my heavens look down where he lay.
So Jimmy Stewart sings too damn much in this. Why is Jimmy Stewart singing?
If you go back, he made a movie back in the 30s where they had him sing. And it was awkward then when he was a young man.
And then later, she's in a cartoon sleigh going across the screen. And then she lifted the dancing Santa straight from the Judy Garland special that we went over a few years ago.
That we love and adore.
So how about the commercials?
Commercials
Classic.
are always great. Yeah. I was like, they had a car commercial from Florida.
That was incredible. They put up the sticker. They put up exactly what you're going to pay on the screen. Could you imagine that today? But anyway, my favorite was the Lady Chic Warm and Creamy, Ken.
It even steams.
Warm cleanser, warm moisturizer, because warm works better than cold.
Wow.
New Warm and Creamy, created by the Loretta Young division of Chic.
My holiday bells for this, Ken, is 3.5 out of 4. I take a half star off from Rich Little lifting the same material over and over again.
I would give it 3 stars. Again, just a throwback to those holiday special variety shows of the 70s.
Sure.
Yeah.
There you go, Ken.
That's the Julie Andrews Christmas special, 1972 on ABC.
Next on Pat and Ken at the Holidays 2024 edition, we're going to go back to 1999 TV, Ken, and we're going to get the drug-addled Aaron Sorkin and his episode of the first season of West Wing in Celsius Deo. That's next on Pat and Ken at the Holidays.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
An old-fashioned, small-town American Christmas.
Don't you think that's a terrific idea?